ABC Television News Network presents American Newsstand, the mid-afternoon report with the accent on youth. Brought to you by Milton Bradley, producer of exciting age-identified family games. Now here's Roger Sharp.
Good afternoon. At his news conference today, President John Kennedy spoke out in reference to the growing number of complaints from reservists and National Guardsmen called to active duty during this national emergency.
These men who may be serving in a very cold and windy camp in Fort Lewis in Washington, therefore, are rendering the same kind of service to our country that an airplane standing on a 15-minute alert at a SAC base in Omaha is rendering. We call them in order to prevent a war, not to fight a war. And if our efforts to hold the peace should fail, then, of course, they would be used in a more direct way. But their function today is to indicate that the United States is serious about its commitments, that it means to meet its commitments, that it wants to negotiate a peaceful settlement if it can, but it does not propose to surrender.
Strong words from a determined president. As reported exclusively a week ago by ABC science editor Jules Bergman, John Herschel Glenn Jr., a 40-year-old Marine Lieutenant Colonel, has been officially named as the first U.S. astronaut to be taken into orbit around the Earth. He'll take the same space route blazed today by the chimp Enos. In a moment, more on Enos. Right now, a word about Milton Bradley's Game of Life. Everything A-OK for Enos the space chimp. A safe landing in the Atlantic 500 miles south of Bermuda today after 2 orbits around the Earth. He was rocketed aloft at Cape Canaveral this morning with a powerful Atlas rocket at 10:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and had been circling the Earth for a little more than 2 hours when trouble developed in the space cabin's electrical inverter. Rather than run the risk of failure on a 3rd orbit as planned, the capsule was brought down after the 2nd trip, and Enos recovered in excellent shape. In Santo Domingo, combat troops hurling tear gas grenades at howling mobs have finally restored order after 3 days of political unrest in the Caribbean Dominican Republic. 2 opposing political factions are struggling to assume governmental leadership following the overthrow of the Trujillo dictatorship. ABC's Paul Good spoke to teenager Lisette Vega, who returned from the United States to resume life in her troubled homeland.
Lisette, do you have any particular message for American teenagers?
Well, here we want to study as much as we can, and it is not possible for us to concentrate in our studies as they can there because they're in peace, and they're lucky because they have not had the chance to being involved in the affairs that we are. We really hope the day will come when we will lead happy, normal teenage life. And we want you all teenage American people to pray for us in this situation.
On a happier note, a new queen for the annual Rose Bowl, lovely 18-year-old Martha Sissel, a psychology major at Pasadena City College. She's 5 feet 7 inches tall and enjoys baking cookies, reading, golf, swimming, and football as a spectator. American Newsstand will continue in just 60 seconds, right after this word about Milton Bradley's Racco.
Look, when you're looking for a game, look for the name Milton Bradley. Games for all, big or small, fun and learning games. Milton Bradley.
For you and him and the whole family, Racco. It's the newest and best and most exciting card game you've ever played. Racco. Easy to learn, thrilling to play, and it's the one family game you and your children can enjoy together. And for your children aged 7 to 14, get Pirate and Traveler, a game of world travel and adventure with the lure of far-off places and pirate booty. For your little ones aged 5 to 9, Uncle Wiggily, based on the world's gentlest bedtime story. 2 hops for Mr. Bunny. My, this game is very funny. Uncle Wiggily, Pirate and Traveler, Racco, 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 Racco.
American Newsstand yesterday attended a recording session with a popular young singer as he was cutting a new record, Frankie Avalon. Today, another young singer has dropped into our studio for a talk with Dave James.
With me this afternoon is someone who needs little or no introduction. He's called the Fabulous Fabian. Faye, we've heard a lot of talk that rock and roll in America is on the way out. Do you see it that way?
Well, I honestly don't. Proof of the pudding is that the twist is so big now.
And you've just come back from Europe. How's R&R over there?
Well, if you remember about 5 years ago how big it was here in the United States, that's how it is right now. Big as ever.
And they greeted you warmly.
Yes, happy to say they did.
And now we know you're going to do your first dramatic bit on television this Sunday. Could you tell us about it?
Yes, it's Bus Stop. The sequence is called The Lion Walks Among Us. I play a young psychopathic killer on it, which is quite different for me. The role is quite different. I enjoyed very much doing it. And I was happy that 20th Century Fox gave me the opportunity to do something dramatic, because I've been wanting to for some time now.
Was it hard to make the adjustment from singing pop tunes to playing a dramatic role?
Well, I'm studying here in New York, and I've been waiting, and I can't say it was really that big of a switch, because I enjoy it so much, and I look forward to it.
How's your movie career progressing?
Well, happy to say very good. December 1st, I started a new movie for 20th called Mr. Hobbs Takes a Vacation, which stars James Stewart and Maureen O'Hara.
And what's your role in that one?
I play the boyfriend of James Stewart's daughter.
Who's that?
Laurie Peters.
Okay. And I hear there's an interesting story about how you got started in show business. Could you tell us about it?
Yes, it all happened in Philadelphia. My manager, Bob Marcucci, met me right in front of... I was sitting on my doorstep. It just happened to be my father took ill, and he was being rushed out by an ambulance, and Bob stopped to see what it was all about. And that's how we met, and so I started recording for Bob. Of course, I auditioned for him a week after, and then I recorded.
And for anybody who'd like to emulate your career or go where you've gone, do you have any advice?
Well, all I can say is that the main thing is to get a good manager, someone who believes in you, and of course, to try and get on a good record company. And the main thing is to enjoy what you're doing, and if all goes well, you'll make it.
Fine. Good luck in your dramatic endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And in West Berlin today, a whole company of cotton-picking infantrymen passed through the communist checkpoint from West Germany. They're so called because their history dates back to the War of 1812, when they fought from behind bales of cotton. The cotton-picking infantrymen. That's the news to now. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. We invite you to join us. Roger Sharp, ABC, New York.
American Newsstand each afternoon following American Bandstand, the mid-afternoon news report with the accent on youth. For a complete wrap-up of the day's news, stay tuned to this ABC station at the dinner hour for Evening Report.
It's the surprise performance of the year. Watch Fabian in Bus Stop, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time.
That's Sunday on ABC.